Hello, hello.
Good evening.
We are going to give a few seconds for people to hop on. Hope this finds you well. We are in Pittsburgh. And it was...
Give it a minute.
Yeah. Are we on the, hello, hello. Here comes some people hopping in on Instagram. So far the Wi-Fi is doing okay. I am on the Wi-Fi. There we go. Hey, Matthew and Kendall. Tell us hey if you pop on so that we can say hello. We have just gotten dinner cleaned up. We're having to get used to actually being 8 o'clock when we get on to talk to y'all now that we're on the East Coast time. Because we're going to stay on Eastern time, you know, through the end of the year now. And so we were used to it being 5 or 6 o'clock for so long. And we would talk to y'all and then deal with dinner. So we've been having to hoof it, get everything done. But I think we're there.
Yeah. So good evening. We are coming to you live from Mountaintop in...
Well, we thought it was Tarentum, but how did he say it was pronounced? Tarentum? Anyway.
Pittsburgh.
We're just outside of Pittsburgh. We're up on a
on a mountain.
Little mountain, and so we have a fabulous view. This is a great campground. We've actually stayed here before, so this was a repeat for us. Hi, Annie. How are ya?
I just noticed that Casey has a halo. She grew that since last week. She looks
still
like
there?
an angel.
Can you hear us? We have somebody saying they can't hear us on Instagram. So somebody, Chris, Gambrell, Miss Janice, Ivan, somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear us on Instagram. So that I know, or wave or something. So that I know if we need to do something different. Anywho, hope y'all are well. So we're outside of Pittsburgh. Okay, good. Thank you. Perfect. We got here on Thursday night.
Thursday. We actually had a little snafu with our reservation in Columbus, and so we had to leave there on Thursday. Thursday became a travel day, which was supposed to be a school day, so that made Friday a school day.
We did a whole travel. We traveled last week, Thursday, Monday, Thursday, I think, which isn't, you all that have been around for a while know that's not how we like to do it. And so we are super excited not to be traveling until Friday this week, which is our normal travel day.
Yep. So we're on a normal rhythm now, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
for the most part.
Yeah.
But anyway, excited to be back in Pittsburgh. We always love coming to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was one of our first stops, and so it's sentimental in that way. Lots of fun people we enjoy connecting with while we're here, so it's been good.
Yeah.
But
we came to you last week from Columbus.
No, we were in Cincinnati when we went live.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Cincinnati. We've been a lot of places really quickly.
I know.
We were in Cincinnati. We had been to church with Austin and Amy Mathis at Grace Church Harrison. They are the ones who have their church also has a co-work space that they operate throughout the week, and so that's where they meet, and just a really neat meeting space, cool opportunity to meet with them, and we were with them Sunday night, and then Monday we traveled to
Columbus.
We traveled to Columbus. Yes. For those of you who know me well, you know it's a call from God if I go to Columbus, right?
Yeah.
There's a little college in Ohio.
A little college.
And I forget it. Ohio College of the Arts, I think is the name of it. And anyway, they're not my favorite.
Anyway, yes.
As a Michigan fan, they're not my favorite. Although you can see I'm kind of wearing some of their colors tonight, so I'm not too diehard.
But we went to Columbus on Monday, and we were there Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. That's what we ended up being there.
Yeah.
And we did miss. There is one couple that we have always connected with in Columbus that we missed seeing this time. Did you wear all your Michigan gear?
I wasn't obnoxious. I did make myself known, but I was not obnoxious.
There you go. He said go blue to anybody that he could, but So yeah, we spent a few days there though, and Kevin got a neat opportunity to meet some new planters in Columbus, and so that was cool.
Yeah, so I connected with the Sin City missionary there. His name's Chad, and was able to communicate with him, and he got a few guys together, and I was able to kind of host a lunch and get some of them together. We had a good time just of fellowship. I got to meet one guy that I had never communicated with before. One guy was at lunch that I had been with previously, and it was good to reconnect with him. And then I had communicated with the Sin City missionary before, but never had any time with him. And so it was good to spend that time. It was good to get all of them together around the table. And it was interesting. So this is where I made myself known. So they asked my story. I started sharing a little bit. They're like, "Oh, you're from Georgia. You're probably not a big fan of Ohio State." I said, "Oh, it's more than me being from Georgia. I'm a Michigan fan." They're like, "What?" So they weren't sure that they should continue eating with me, but they did continue. And
yes.
so
It's always interesting when Kevin gets to sit in that seat of being able to get a group of planners in the same city together, because what we find is that they often don't have time to do this themselves, and so Kevin coming into town is a good excuse for some of them to get together, and oftentimes Kevin gets as much joy out of watching them get to know each other and spend time together and interact together than even what he gets to do with them.
Yeah, one particular story from this lunch, as I said, there was the Sin City missionary, and then there was a gentleman named Daryl and another guy named Aaron. And so Daryl asked the question, now who's in charge? He's relatively new to the Sin Network and Columbus area. And he said, now who's in charge of training? Because I need to get some training. And Aaron's like, well, that's my area. I'm responsible for training. So I can, we've got a new cohort that's starting up in October. I can get you connected and get you as a part of that. He said, but I was thinking that he threw out some name, had reached out to you about being a part of the urban cohort as well. And he said, I don't remember that name. And so the Sin City missionary said, oh, I think so-and-so was supposed to reach out to you. And he said, I don't recognize that name. He said, okay, we'll get you connected. Would you like me to connect you with this one? It meets in Atlanta. And he's like, yeah, I need that. That would be great for me to have that opportunity. And so Aaron said, no, do you want to do that one or do you want to do both? And he said, no, I'd love to do both. And so they were able to get him connected right there at lunch to two cohorts that are going to help him in the process of just learning how to be a better church planner there in the area of Columbus that he is living in, that is exploding. They're putting in some stuff in his area, and he said the property value of his home has tripled in the last 3 years.
Wow.
So the area that he's in is exploding, and
there we go.
Yeah.
So neat opportunities to just watch people and see people connect. So Thursday we came on up here to Pittsburgh, and today it was such a cool opportunity for us. So I think I already mentioned Pittsburgh was one of the first places that we stopped. And so one of the couples that we first met on our first go around and our first trip here was a couple who had not even launched yet. They were pre-launch on their plant, on their church plant. Had been living here for a little while, had moved around the time of COVID, had been living here in the community that they were planning in, but they were pre-launch. And so we got to know them, spent some time with them, happened to just kind of intersect with them. The Lord intersected our paths with them at a time in their life where they had been through some hard stuff. And so we just got the opportunity to love on them. And so we just bonded with them. Anyway, when we came back through here last year, they had just launched. But it was a holiday weekend, and so they were not having a traditional service that weekend.
They were having like a brunch together as a church, just as a time of coming together for fellowship as a church. And so we didn't attend with them that Sunday.
Then today we finally, almost 2 years, almost 2 years to the date later that we first met them, we got to go to church with them this morning. And it was so neat just to see what God's doing in their church. To see, Kevin got to participate and be a part of the service, and it was just cool the way it all worked out. Something that we had been waiting on for so long was to be able to join them for worship, and so it was just a neat opportunity. Their kiddos, they have 3 little kiddos who love the girls, and so we got to take them to dinner last night. The girls got to babysit the boys, and we got to have some good fellowship and then hang out today. And so anyway, it was a good full circle moment.
Today was an honor. I was honored to be asked by Josh to be a part of the service. Got to read scripture and pray over him before he preached, and then assist him in distributing the Lord's Supper. And it was just a sweet time to be able to share with that church, hey, I've been praying for you for 2 years, and it's a joy and privilege to be able to be here in person today and worship with you. So that was a cool moment. And then after that, he shared a little bit about us and what our family has meant to their family, and some encouragement just as he sends out newsletters. I'm always one that responds to those newsletters and how much he appreciates that, and so that was pretty cool to hear as well.
Yep.
And like Casey said, just a really cool time with them. And last night was again just a special privilege to be able to be with them, have dinner, and the girls always enjoy connecting with their boys, and
they're fun.
Yeah,
little ones. So it was a good night. So we have several things on the docket this week as we're reconnecting with around people's schedules and with people in this area that we've now known for. It's crazy to think that we've now known these people for 2 years, and so we are connecting with them, you know, for the third time, most of them, and getting to hang out. And so that's gonna be fun. Kevin's gonna get. You've heard us talk over the years too, or over the last couple of years too, about the sub networks that we encounter. And so one of those on the East Coast especially is called the Pillar Network. Kevin's going to get the opportunity to meet with a lot of those guys in the area on Thursday. And so
yeah, there's about 5 or 6 guys that are a part of that network here in Pittsburgh, and so they are getting together just as the group of Pillar guys. There's I think maybe 2 or 3 of them that aren't part of the Send network, but they connect through the Pillar network with some other guys. And so I'm going to get to meet some of these guys for the first time. But when we were here last year, we were a part of a joint worship service in the park, and we'll get to meet with both of the pastors. I'll get to see one of those pastors at the luncheon on Thursday, and then Friday we'll get to connect. I'll get to see the other guy. Casey's connecting with the wife on Tuesday. The girls are going to keep some more kiddos this week, and so we're looking forward to another great week.
Yeah, we started so the girls and I started school 2 weeks. We've done 2 weeks, and so this will go into our 3rd week of school. So we're excited that this week we don't have to move twice. Last week our school week kind of got hijacked, so this week we don't have to move twice. We just have a normal week of school. And Chloe's doing college classes, and so anyway, it's all full steam ahead for the next few weeks as we get into our kind of fall schedule. So
yeah,
Canada is coming up on the docket again. We're excited about that. It's gonna be a little bit interesting and different this time, I feel like, because we are getting way more into, on the east side of Canada, you get way more into the French-speaking territory. So I called just this last week to make a change in one of our reservations, and you know, they answer bonjour. I'm like, hey. So anyway, they quickly transitioned to English, but still, it's going to be an interesting experience, I think, for us as a family. It'll be the first time that we have been that immersed, I think, as a family in a different, in another language being primary, and French is definitely more primary on the.
Especially in Montreal.
Once you get over to Quebec. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. September will prove to be very interesting as we go back into Canada. And then, of course, there'll be more border crossing stories. So that'll be interesting for everybody.
And we're super excited for Labor Day weekend. We're going to get a little bit of a bit of a vacation weekend during Labor Day weekend. And so you'll get to hear about that next weekend as well.
Yes, next weekend. We are getting to go see Niagara Falls from the Canadian
Spoiler
side.
alert, I was trying to leave a cliffhanger.
Oh, sorry. Okay. We're going to see Niagara Falls from the Canadian side. And that's something we've always wanted to do, so we get to do that this year. So we're excited about that. But anyway, I'm trying to think. Oh, I did want to say, last week one of the things that we mentioned was our upcoming an opportunity or a need for our upcoming our campground in New York City. We talked about just the just how expensive that campground is, how it's our only option, but it's just so over the top given the rest of what we normally do on a normal basis. Yes, we've heard the Canadian side is a better view. That's why we're excited. So anyway, our New York City campground, we mentioned that. We mentioned the possibility and the opportunity for people to partner with us and maybe sponsor a night. And so I felt like we needed to update. And since last Sunday night, our entire stay at that New York City campground has been sponsored and taken care of.
Yeah, we have three commitments plus another one of our friends that has reached out, and they're going to be helping us as well. And so it looks like that whole week will be taken care of.
What a blessing. Thank
you to our tribe for stepping up and making that happen for us. It's a blessing to be able to do ministry in New York City. It's a fun place to be, but there is a lot of ministry going on there. And so we are looking forward to being able to connect with more planters there than we ever have been before.
Yes. And so thank you to our tribe and those people who have done that and made that possible. So
yeah, and thank y'all for hanging out with us tonight on a Sunday evening, or if you're catching this on a rerun. Or
make
replay.
Sure you always comment. We have been working, for those of you that are interested, most of our ministry stuff you can see on Facebook and Instagram. Our YouTube channel, we do keep going, but that's a lot of our just travel stuff and a way for us to keep up with that and do with that. But we've been doing some fun stuff with our YouTube channel. So we have worked all weekend this weekend actually on filming some new content and some different things. And so if you're interested in just some fun from the Kilgores, make sure that you go follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because there is a lot coming down the pipe. Another thing coming as soon as will be our newsletter. It's almost the beginning of the month. So if you're not currently getting that, make sure you pop over to our website, or either just send me a message with your email address, and make sure you get on the list to get that newsletter. Sorry, my ring just hit the counter. To get that newsletter every month. It usually comes in the first week of the month. That newsletter is kind of our insider scoop, for lack of a better way to. It's always got our schedule, where we're at, where we're headed. It's got kind of some of our deeper thoughts, or some of my deeper thoughts, as well as usually a story, or kind of a more of a story than we tell on social media of a missionary that we've encountered. So anyway, if that's something you're interested in, make sure you either send me a message or head to our website. You can click join at the top. It's through theeyesofourtribe.com. And you can hit join at the top, and that puts you right on our newsletter list. So,
all right.
2 things. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Hope you have a good evening.
Y'all have a great week. We enjoyed chatting, and make sure to let us know and say hello.
See you later.
Bye.